Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We just finished out a pretty awesome week, I'd say, with Dude, You Need to Check This Out week. I got to listen to a lot of cool stuff, and one of the things I really like about non genre weeks is just the wild differences between the stuff. And that's what I also really like about Special Selection. I always get recommended some really unique stuff, and it doesn't really fit with many themes that we have. So it's really nice just to see this eclectic collection of tracks. Today's selection comes at us from Justin. Says there's so many songs I like to recommend, but I think I'll go with "Offering" by The Visit, specifically a live recording. Without giving away too much, I think it's something unique for your channel, and I'm looking forward to your thoughts. Keep up the killer work, man. Thanks, Justin. So yeah, let's get on this. Let's see what we got going here with The Visit. Dude's tearing it up on that cello. Quite a bend there. Real eerie. Very interesting technique. Really nice dynamic control between the both of them. A little bit of rebound work from percussion stuff there. Very cool.
the cavern where nightmare creatures gnaw flesh. Ugly writhing thing, no light have you seen, not alive, not dead. Purify, transform, hold on to the light. Offer.
Wow. Wow. Uh, well, that was a treat. I don't know. I don't know if you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, but that was kind of phenomenal. So, I think it's really difficult, at least it was for me, to listen to that song without connecting with the sort of atmosphere and emotion and passion that's being put into the track. There was a lot of really cool technical things happening inside of the cello part. I can't remember any of them specifically. That's not what really stood out to me on a first listen. Like I said, that would be the atmosphere and the passion and the performance itself. The song, though, is very impressive, like on every level. It is an exceptionally impressive track, both in the vocal work and in the cello work. There's just, I mean, the cello, I think, was, if you look at it technically, was the outstanding part of the duo. Uh, he had a couple of solo sections, and he carried a lot of the background melody and carried a lot of the atmospheric work and providing the floor for her to be singing over and stuff like that. And he just had a ton of dynamic choice in volume, in rhythmic pattern, in complexity. Just a really amazing part that was written for the cello. But there is no reason to discredit the singer. Just, uh, she killed it. um, the way that she sang, the way that she presented the notes, the subtle slide that she had on a lot of it, giving it this haunting beauty. Um, the fact that she could retain so much uh, note presence while still creating that airiness. To me, that's really difficult. Is keeping that air pressure on the note, like from the diaphragm, and keeping that projection solid without wavering while still having all of that airiness. That takes just a ton of practice and dedication to that delivery style to just nail down for such a long track, for such a vast majority of the track as well. Um, and then there were just some really larger note jumps, and she just nailed them every time. Uh, she, like I said, the vocal part was no slouch compared to the complexity in the cello. But as I said, the technical aspects, the part that was written on sheet music, while impressive, is not what I focused on. It's not what I want to focus on with this discussion. I want to focus on the presentation, the song itself, what was performed to me just now. Um, there is a lot of passion. You can see it in the faces, you can see it in the body language, you can see it, or you can hear it in the cello playing and in the vocal work. Um, this is an extremely emotional piece. I don't know if it means anything to the two of these people, but they are putting a lot of themselves in it. Anybody else who performs this, it's still going to be an exceptional song. It will not be this song. Um, yeah, I don't care how closely you can emulate these two's playing. It's not going to be the same thing. They're putting a lot of themselves into this, um, and I think it shows. The cello work. There are so many sections where it's these little nuances. It's the power. It's the subtlety. You can even hear these odd power strikes. That's a weird way to phrase that. It's these unusual moments of emphasis even during the quieter sections. And just one note out of the bunch will get a bit of an accent on it. And it's not it's not just that rigidness. It's not like you can just write an accent mark over this one and the next person who plays it's going to get that same emphasis on that accent note. It is entirely how this dude plays it. It's how he moves into it. It's how he plays it. It's how much emphasis he puts into it. And I feel a lot of that just comes to his emotional connection with the song. I mean, I could be completely wrong here. He could he could have been given the sheet music yesterday, practiced it, and this is his performance, and he has no attachment to it whatsoever. I don't believe that, but I suppose it is a scenario that could have happened. Um, but yeah, it's just the little subtle nuance, especially in his solo sections when you can really hone in on his playing. There's just a ton of little moments of passion, of just loving this song, or this song is a part of him, and it's less like he's playing a song and more like he's expressing an aspect of himself. And I will attribute that to the singer as well. But that's not what I'm talking about right now, which is, uh, but yeah, both people, like I said, there's definitely some sort of attachment here or emotional connection. Uh, but specifically looking at the cello work, you can tell that this is something that he needs to play, something that he has to get out of his system, something that's just intrinsically tied to him. There's so many little subtle things that I don't think many other cellists would perform or would handle the same way he does. And it's a multiplicative kind of addition where he performs it a certain way and it elevates the song. Little bits of nuance. And I really wish I had specific moments to point out, but like I said, this song sucked me in so hard. It was just, they were playing and I was entranced 100%. Um, so I'd have to give it a second listen to really point out specific sections where some of this happened. But if you want, go back and give it a listen, and especially during the cello solo sections, really look and listen at what he's doing, and listen for those subtle little additions, stuff like a random triple hit, and he's playing like straight eighths or something, and then he throws a triplet eighth in there, or when he goes quiet, look at which notes are given some accent, which are given more power, which ones are a little louder. Look at his dynamics. Sometimes when he does the swells, they're very gradual, and other times it's more of like it grows a bit and then it shrinks down and grows out again, and it's just these little inflections where it's more like he's telling a story through the music rather than just playing a song. Um, and then I, the singer just, man, I don't know. She adds so much because the cello is putting down the atmosphere. All right. Not only is the timbre of the instrument already presenting us with a sort of uh, somber tone to it, um, but the chords that they're playing, the notes that they're playing, really present a sort of tense atmosphere. So, I mean, a lot of that work's already being done, but her delivery of her part just adds so much to the unsettlingness of the song. It's how she uses her vibrato and how she attacks and releases the notes. Just everything. Like, she performs this track perfectly to enhance the entire atmosphere of the song, even though she's playing a rather simple melody. Um, but it's just the little nuances, again, that she adds to this performance that really put it over the top. Um, I was talking about the passion, and you could see it even in her body language. I think, with the cellist, he playing cello is kind of a full upper body kind of thing. Both your arms are in it, and your shoulders holding the top of the neck, and it's kind of resting against your body, and there's not much ability to move. But you can see a lot in his face, and you can see a lot in how he moves his arms, the rigidness, the attack of it, the domination. It is not legato playing. There's not a lot of whimsy, I guess you could say, to his arm movements. It's very rigid, very sharp, very forceful. But then we look at the singer, and we can see a lot of the opposite of that. It's not like, especially when you look at her hand movements, a lot of singers move their hands and their bodies to kind of go along with what they're singing. I think it helps with muscle memory, I think, first of all, but also it helps with the energy and how you're singing what you're singing, and the body language helps plays into that. And there's definitely a bit more of a whimsy to it. She has a lot of, hand movements that are not so rigid. There's a little fluidity to them, but at the same time, they're not. I don't want to use this word, but it's what I'm gonna go with. Pretty. There's a lot of, like claw, little movements going on. And I know this has nothing to do with the music. But it really adds so much when you can see this kind of passion in it. It's the difference between listening to a song and seeing it live. There's energy in the performance, there's energy in the visual aspect outside of the music. And it works in tandem with the music, even though it's not specifically the music. Um, but yeah, like it's just the little things in how these two are playing, um, what they do physically as they play, and also how that affects their playing and what's actually produced from them. And it all just works together so well to create a haunting, beautiful piece. Um, I also really enjoyed how the vocal work was mostly, it was either nonsense or it was note sounds. I couldn't really tell if there's actually some sort of language or if all of the notes like sometimes they sounded all the same, where she was just using a sound, like a da, 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 like they all had the same attack to them, phonetic pronunciation, or if it was a made up language up until the part that was obviously English, the violin or the cello back down, and we had the English spoken vocal part. And, that was obviously, um, it presented the core concept of the song, which was about the offering, and it kind of created the narrative story for that. But I think a lot of the eeriness really ties into that when we think of offerings. Sometimes we can think back to ancient times when it was less of a creepy thing, or we can think more towards like Halloween and satanic stuff, which I think this one kind of airs towards, but I'm not really sure, and I don't think it matters. Either way, we have a really eerie piece that has a ton of passion and love and care put into it, and it's just fascinating to behold, both if you understand what's going on and even if you don't. I think it just hits a lot of people. I think it'd be difficult to walk away from this not feeling anything. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think, though. Hit me up in the comments. Um, uh, I wish I had more words for this, but I would really need to listen to it again to kind of get that understanding and get around to that. So, like I said, though, you guys can let me know what you thought. Hit me up in the comments. And above that is like, subscribe, and a bell. You can hit those out. They help out the channel. They can help out you if you're interested in checking out more of my stuff, knowing when I put things up. And around there's also a description box if you'd like to check out some links, like to videos that YouTube does not think you should watch, as well as the Patreon if you want to check out the Discord community, or if you like to vote on future topics. All right, I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, with another special selection episode. Until then, you guys stay safe, stay awesome, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.